如今的你是不是人生很迷茫呢？快来参加我是谁线上课程，一起来探讨到这个世界的意义和使命是什么。
欢迎大家又回到我的频道。这个星期我们非常的有幸再请到Seonmi，我们的韩国跳大神的这位漂亮女博主，回来跟我们谈更多关于她这一个职业到底是什么。Welcome back to my channel and thank you so much for all the interesting story that you have shared with us in the first episode. So coming to the second episode, we can talk more about the god or the Korean god in general that you're working with. Do you have quite a few or just one in particular? So I'll hand it to you. Thank you.
Thank you for having me back again, everyone. So I do work with a lot of different deities. So for Mudang, we have to have multiple deities because each deity or god has different roles. They each take charge or ownership of different things. So just as an example, my main active or like if you want to say use a Western term like patron deity, if that makes sense. So my main patron deity is a war cutter goddess. She is the one she's like a straw cutter general war god. So she is really, really good with cleansing, purification, exorcism, and bringing prosperity and good fortune. That's the main one. You can kind of tell back there, her straw cutters are hidden under the red silk.
Ah.
And then let's see who else. There's a lot of other ones, but some of the other ones that I can point out, this white cone hat here, that's Pursa Harmony. She's really good with helping with like cleansing and purification. And then here is the feather fans for my Sonya. She's like the heaven fairy goddess. And then I don't know if you guys can quite see, but there's a bunch of like little toys and shoes, like kids' shoes. Those are for my Dongja Dongnyo. Like those are my child gods.
Child gods. Oh.
Hmm.
When do you normally use a child god?
So the child gods actually, like how they can be categorized can be quite different. So depending on what realm they come from is how they kind of have those different like powers or gifts. So just as an example, like if a child god comes from a mountain realm, they usually serve the mountain god.
Oh, so it's all about nature as well.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, that's why you have the fairy god over there with the white feather and so on.
Mm-hmm.
They have their own personality, where one is more fierce than the other one, and some are nicer or more polite.
Some are definitely more blunt and stern, like they can be more strict. And then other ones like my child gods, they can be really, really playful, mischievous. They love laughing, eating candy, and just joking around.
Ah, so you have different type of, is it food offering to different type of gods? For example, the candies are more like for the child god, and for fairies, a different type of offering, or generally there's one type of fruits, for example, for them.
Like generally we use like the same kind of standard food offerings for the adult gods. And then the child gods typically have their own choice of like either fruit or desserts and candies. Like if you see an offering of candies, those are usually going to the child spirits.
And the standard fruit, what are they?
It would be like so Samsek Namu, that's like a 3-color. I know this one was absorbed from Buddhism. So like the sacred 3-color bantan, so like brown, white, and green, those are the 3 sacred colors for that kind of offering. And then chon, which is like fritters, I guess. I'm not sure how that would be translated. And then top, like the rice cake. Those are pretty standard as well. And then of course, like fruit, any kind of fruit. The only ones that we typically stay away from for offerings on the shindang like this is like fruit with stone pits.
Oh, right. Okay, makes sense. That's very interesting. And personally, myself, like I also work with different sort of like deities, angels, but I do have like a spiritual guru somewhere in the spiritual realm. My guru tends to be quite stern. I don't know. They just wouldn't let me breathe for some reason, and they're very restricted on certain things. For example, if I have to do a ceremony, like prior to that, I can't drink any alcohol, and also sometimes they will even require me to do fasting for like specific hours. Some ritual has to be done on the new moon or full moon. Not too sure if that applies to same to yours. Yeah, like do you have like a specific date throughout the year that you have to sort of like celebrate maybe their birth or like different sort of ceremony?
I mean, for the most part, ceremonies will fall on like auspicious days. So we do have auspicious days in order to do ceremonies so they have the most chance of success. And then there are certain days where if you do any kind of rituals or ceremonies or even leave the house, you might encounter more misfortune. But I think the way that this is done, I use an almanac. So I know that the authors who usually write up the almanacs, they're like Saju readers. Like, so something similar might be Baji. So something similar to that, like that kind of style almanac.
Ah, right. Okay. Oh wow. So there's a lot of sort of cross-culture knowledge that is sharing across the different type of ceremony. Wow, it's very similar. I don't know what to say because we do have like throughout the month there's like specific dates, auspicious date, like you said, where we can do ceremony or where we can do cleansing that will be more effective as well. By the way, I'm sure everyone will be quite interested to find out, you know, those knives that you are working on. And I'm sure that you guys, if you want to see it, can go to her TikTok. I think I've seen some from your TikTok video.
Yeah, I think I've posted some of my sacred tools on my TikTok and my Instagram. Yeah.
Perfect.
We haven't talked about that show yet that I've posted clips from. It was that dating show.
Oh yeah, you can talk about that dating show. What is it called in Korean? Because I have to read the translation. It was just piece and pieces on the internet.
Well, I know the translated version title is called Possessed Love. And the Korean is like, I always forget it, but I know that the first part of it is like shindul because it's part of the word for possessed. So it's like, it's something similar to that. But anyways, anybody who tries typing in possessed love, searching for that, they'll find the Korean for that show. But basically they invited tarot readers, tarot card readers, Saju readers, which is like Paji readers, and Mudangs to the show in order to find their significant other who they might end up dating at the end. And the thing about this show is that because everybody has a way to like read into a person's energy or like read into the future, what everybody had to do was select like that person's birth date tag. They didn't know who it belonged to. They only had the birth date information. From that, they had to pick who, like either their spirits or like the Saju or whatever showed that they would be like most fated to be with.
I remember one of the guy was complaining inside the car. He was saying to the girl that, oh, I can see the room was very messy. There was one clip. Do you remember? Do you think it will be easy for people like us to find love? Like, because we can read through all the bullshit. Like, our partner cannot lie because we'll find out anyway, one way or another. And, you know, if they're not happy or if they have like some sort of like bad thoughts, we can sense this. This is why I only date normal, non-spiritual guy because at least they think, you know, this is not real. I cannot have a guy came to me and said, oh, I can saw your room. There was a lot of mess. Like, it was terrible.
Yeah, it was I'll say like throughout the show, and it's not like a spoiler, so nobody needs to worry, but I will say like a couple people relied too much on going back to doing readings instead of just being in the moment and enjoying and exploring like what that connection can be with that other person. They would get too deep in their head about it. Like they would mess themselves up, and they'd be like, oh no, what if I'm doing this and it's making him not like me anymore? So they went back to doing their own readings, and they kept doing it over and over. And I was just like, you guys have to relax. Like you need to be able to explore those people as people, not just going into it and being like, okay, but what will the card say? What's 신령님 gonna say? You can't do it like that.
There was one guy, he took out like 5 colors flag or something. I don't know what they are for.
So this is obangi. This is like divination flags. So it's an indigenous traditional method for mudangs to do divination with. And obviously, like I'm sure you guys are familiar, but 5 colors being sacred, like the 5 directions, like the 5 guardians. Yes. So what happens is, we'll do this a little bit, and then do you want to pull one?
Well, how can I pull one from here?
So I'm going to point to one, and you just tell me when you want me to stop and you want me to pull that.
Okay. Stop.
So
What is blue means? This is very cute and interesting.
It's really funny too, because this is my 동작 돈요, like my child gods. These are their flags. So they're smaller and like more tiny. But yeah, so blue for me means like good success especially with financial or career or like those kinds of mundane world type of goals or careers.
Oh, you continue to pull the flag, or you ask question and then you just pick one?
Yeah, it really depends on the client. So generally, like as they're explaining something, or if I ask them a question, or if they ask me a question, I'm already going through with the flags and about to pull 1 or 2, and then I'll share what's told to me from 신령님 with the flags.
Oh, and each of the color represent each god, or each like different meaning as well?
It can be different meanings, and it also can be different gods too. So like the thing about this is that because every mudang has different gods, how we view or pull or read these, even for each different person, can be different on the day. So it's because it's not like, it's not like tarot where there's set words or associations. Like this is very spur of the moment. It's very intuitive. And as an example, like some mudangs will connect blue with Yongwang, like the Dragon King. But my like blue for me doesn't connect to that god. It's for another god entirely.
Wow. Well done. Well, at least I got tested. Actually, I didn't ask any questions, but it seems like your God has given me a very direct answer. Thank you so much. I hope our video will be successful, and we can carry on to continue this in the podcast sort of format, and we can talk more about sharing crazy, or I don't know, all this like crazy myth, like Korean myth. There's a lot of different region type of myth, like how this native Korean started, this myth. I'm sure the audience will love to hear this. And yeah, so this episode will talk about the possessed love. So do you think you yourself will actually find love in this way? Well, yeah, pardon me, like I haven't asked if you have a partner. So if you do, like, did you actually go through this process and asking your God, like, is he the right one, or?
Yeah, so what's actually funny, so I am married, and so I met him well after I already became a mudang, right? So I had my gods. I think it was within the first month or so of us talking and dating. Like we had a shared dream, and the shared dream was of each of us like picking out wedding bands for each other, which Oh yeah, that's sweet. Whatever. That doesn't necessarily pop up with anything in particular, right? It's not that special. But I think a couple months after that is when my child gods came and they were in front of me and they're just like, he would make, a good father to us. And so that's essentially them accepting him as their like spiritual father, and because I'm essentially their mother, and so they were accepting him as my partner.
Oh wow! So did you get married in a very short period of time? Because he sounds like a chosen one.
Yeah, it was very if everybody in your audience is familiar with, what is it, red string fate.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very much like that.
We call it like moon, 月老 moon god. Who pull
Oh,
the red string. For love and
that's so cool.
relationship. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad that he's very supportive for your work and didn't find this very creepy or anything, like, but he see it as like something very meaningful, helping people who are in need, because it's not easy to have such ability. I would say most of the time it's rather burden than enjoyment, but once you save someone's life, I wouldn't even call it, once you help someone, the reward, the person's is getting on the right track, it just kind of feel wonderful, that feeling, and rewarding at the same time.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you really feel that, you are here for a reason, and you're putting more good out into the world, that honestly the world needs a lot more good than it's probably shown usually. So whatever good any of us can put forth into it, like, is a really good thing.
Because the world is crazy these days. Wars are going on, and there's a lot of real evil, true evil people out there in the world. And I don't feel that good people are enough out there. And I think you should share more about what you're doing. I'm 100% supporting your sort of like work, because, just love sharing, like sharing, healing each other. I think that's very important. Right, so thank you so much for this episode, for Seonmi. And please, everyone, follow her. She's very active on TikTok. Any questions, if you're interested in her services, you can check out her website. She's very friendly, as you can tell. She's happy to help. I'm sure, all good. So thank you so much for your child god and so on, and the message they delivered to me today. I was expecting that. We hope to see you again when you have more time. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Bye bye now.
You should bet on me, like I'm Apple in the 90s. You should bet on me. Gonna wanna get behind me like I'm 23. Before Nike was on Nikes, you should bet on me. You should bet on me.